1066, the battle that changed England forever. October 14th, 1066. On a hill in southern England, two armies faced each other. One was fighting to defend a kingdom. The other had crossed the English Channel to take it. By the end of the day, thousands of men would be dead. An English king would lie on the battlefield, and England would belong to a new ruler. But how did one battle change the course of English history forever? This is the story of the Battle of Hastings. It began months before the armies ever met. In January 1066, England's king, Edward the Confessor, died without a surviving child. The English crown suddenly became the prize everyone wanted. Harold Godwinson, one of the most powerful men in England, was crowned king. But across the English Channel, a powerful Norman duke believed the crown belonged to him. His name was William. William claimed that Edward had promised him the English throne, and William was not prepared to simply accept Harold's coronation. He gathered an army. Ships were built. Weapons were prepared. Thousands of warriors assembled along the Norman coast. Then William crossed the English Channel and landed in England. But Harold had a problem. He had just fought another invasion in the north. On September 25, 1066, Harold's army had defeated the Norwegian king Harald Hardrada at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. It was a stunning victory. But Harold's army was exhausted. Then came terrible news.
Sire, William has landed in the south. Then we must march at once.
Harold now had to make an incredible decision. He marched his army hundreds of miles south to confront the Normans. His soldiers were tired. Many had already fought and survived a brutal battle. But there was no time to rest. The Norman army was waiting. On October 14th, Harold's forces reached a ridge near Hastings. The English army formed a defensive line. Their shields were locked together. Spears pointed toward the enemy. Axes were ready. The famous English shield wall stood on the hill. Below them, William's army prepared to attack. Norman infantry moved forward. Then came the cavalry. And the battle began. The first Norman attack slammed into the English shield wall. But the English held. Again and again, the Normans attacked. And again, they were pushed back. The hill became a killing ground. William's soldiers struggled to break through the English formation. Then something unexpected happened. A rumor spread through the Norman army. William was dead. Panic began to spread. But William was alive.
Look at me!
He reportedly rode through his soldiers, lifting his helmet so they could see his face. The Norman army regained its courage. William changed his tactics. Instead of repeatedly attacking the shield wall head-on, the Normans began using a dangerous strategy. They would retreat, then turn around and attack pursuing English soldiers. The tactic worked. Some English troops broke formation and chased the retreating Normans down the hill. But once they left the shield wall, they became vulnerable. Norman cavalry turned back, and the English were slaughtered. Still, Harold's main force held the ridge. For hours, the battle continued. The sun began to fall. Men fought through exhaustion. Bodies covered the ground. Then came the moment that would decide the fate of England. Harold's exact death is debated, but according to the famous Bayeux tapestry, he was struck in the eye by an arrow before being killed. Whether the tapestry's image represents exactly what happened remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. King Harold was dead. Once news of the king's death spread, English resistance collapsed. The shield wall finally broke. The survivors fled into the darkness. William had won. The man who had sailed from Normandy to claim England had defeated its king on the battlefield. But William's victory at Hastings did not mean England immediately surrendered. The English resisted. Fighting continued in different parts of the country. But eventually, William's position became too strong to defeat. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned King of England at Westminster Abbey. He became known to history as William the Conqueror, and his victory transformed England. The Norman conquest changed England's ruling class, land ownership, castles, administration, and culture. French-speaking Norman rulers now controlled the kingdom. New castles appeared across England, and the English language itself would eventually be transformed by the influence of Norman French. All because two armies met on a hill in 1066. The Battle of Hastings lasted only one day, but its consequences lasted for centuries. A king lost his crown. A foreign army conquered a kingdom. And England entered a completely new chapter of its history. One battle changed who ruled England. But perhaps the most fascinating question is this: what would England look like today if Harold had won? If the English shield wall had never broken? If William had never become king? History could have taken a completely different path. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Fall of Empires for more legendary battles, forgotten warriors, and the rise and fall of powerful kingdoms. And tell me in the comments, do you think Harold could have defeated William if his army had not been exhausted from Stamford Bridge?